Hello, I'm Jack Leach. This is my reflective podcast for my own vocal development. Prior to starting the BA course at York College, I was not well trained in my vocal skills. I knew the basics of projecting to fill a theatre space, however I hadn't much knowledge on vocal warm-ups, breathing, and how the voice itself actually works in terms of the body's anatomy. My early vocal lessons introduced me to the importance of physical ease, and how to properly warm yourself up for a vocal performance. See, vocal warm-ups are just as much about warming the body as they are warming the actual voice. So we would start with warming the body through various methods, such as patting down and rubbing on the body, having a run around, really whatever methods are comfortable for the actor. This then leads into stretching, where we focus on stretching the abdominals, the ribs, the shoulders, and the neck. It's also very important to warm up the face. Massaging the jaw and tongue root, you can also follow this with various tongue and mouth exercises, such as lip trills and rotating the tongue around the mouth. Warming up the voice itself can require various exercises. To aid in articulation, for example, we can use tongue twisters to work different areas all across the inside of the mouth, such as the tongue twister, "A tiny tiger tied a tie tighter to tidy her tiny tail." This uses a lot of T's, and that is working to articulate the alveolar ridge. I've also learnt the figure of 8 exercise. We can use this to articulate more specific sounds, such as F's and M's. If I went ma-ma, ma-may, ma-me, ma-may, ma-ma, ma-maw, ma-moo, ma-maw, you can then apply that sequence to all sorts of sounds to help you articulate anything you might be struggling with. The vocal exercises that I've been learning have greatly aided in my vocal abilities as an actor throughout various ways, such as making me more confident in my speech and helping me to ready my voice in an efficient manner, as well as developing my understanding on how the voice actually functions in terms of the body's anatomy, that being through the vocal folds in the throat. However, there is one factor I've yet to mention, and I would like to primarily focus on it in my vocal development going forward. It's something I've often struggled with, and I've seen great improvements in both my training and personal life since I started studying about it in the BA course. Now this is breath support. I have asthma, so my breath support and capacity has not always been as effective as that of other people. I've struggled with breath support in the past, such as when performing long monologues, performing some singing, and doing some physical work. I found myself getting short of breath a bit too quickly. This has improved over time when I learnt to pace myself, however it still remains as an issue. But thanks to the course, I've been able to learn some breathing techniques and practices. I found the counting exercise, where we count from 1 up to 10 in a sequence, taking deep breaths in between the numbers, then repeating this sequence in different positions, going from laid to on your back, then up to your knees and up to standing, for example, a very helpful way to focus on my breathing ease. The biggest source of my improvement for breathing has been the learning of diaphragmatic breathing technique. Although I initially found the concept a little strange, to actually push the breath down to the stomach, I was able to grasp it after a bit of practice and further explanation from how it works in the anatomy standpoint, seeing a diagram, watching how the diaphragm itself pushes down on the stomach and intestines, what we also sometimes call the kitchen area, which then creates space by pushing them forward, which is what creates the image of a bigger gut in the process. I've used these diaphragmatic breathing skills practically in both my coursework and my regular life. Although it is difficult to observe your own subconscious body behaviours, my body has most definitely started to breathe from the diaphragm without me needing to consciously focus on doing so. At least I've caught myself doing it a few times. The most major use for these techniques, however, for me personally, has actually been in my line of work. As I work as a tour guide in the city of York, part of the job is needing to deliver long monologues about the history of the city to what can sometimes be a very large audience. And this is quite a unique situation, as unlike when you're in a theatre space, you don't get the luxury to project into a closed area with absolute silence in it and all attention is on you. When you're performing in a public area, there can be many audible distractions going on around you that you might need to project over, and your situation in terms of the environment will differ as well. Sometimes you need to project into a wide open space or somewhere more crowded, and it all depends where you are. Thanks to my vocal warm-ups and my breath support though, I've been able to gradually perform in these tours with a greater sense of confidence and efficiency. I really do take focus in using the diaphragm to make the most out of a single breath and adjust my voice accordingly depending on the situation that's at hand. All that being said, I'm looking forward to further improving my breath capacity as measured by the breath capacity tests we've been doing. I think I scored a 40 on my last one, as well as widening my understanding of vocal techniques during the course to come. It's going to be the end of my podcast. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.